Can the Denver Broncos go from a top 10 scoring offense last season to a top 5 scoring offense this season? Can the Denver Broncos go from a top 5 defense last season to the number 1 defense this season? What impact will that have on our season? How far can we go to the playoffs? And can those two stats take us to the Super Bowl? Welcome back to another episode of Orange and Blue Blitz.
Tune in, now it's time to sit. Orange and blue, we never quit. Broncos pride is lit legit. Every week we're bringing grit. Orange and blue, we bring the heat. Podcast grinding can't be beat. Every play, every style we meet. Blitz so hard it's on repeat. My high dreams we elevate. Break it down, we narrate. From the field to the fan debate. Broncos Country, we dominate. We got the passion, we got the drive. Orange and blue keeps us alive. Every tackle, every stride. It's the Blitz where legends thrive.
What's up? Good afternoon, good morning, good wherever you are. Good. Hope you're having a good day, a good week, a good off season. We are just under a month away from training camp. We are about 3 weeks away from the rookies report to training camp, and the season will be on the way. Just an update. Fishing has been going. I've definitely gotten better at my casting. I can set up my reel much faster now. I'm probably gonna have to find another spot. So that way my hook doesn't get drug at the bottom of the lake every time, and get caught on a rock. So I'm not leaving bobbers and hooks everywhere. So there's that. And then I actually have to catch something, and then we're gonna learn how to fillet it. So that's definitely something it's hot though. It is hot. My goodness. And I'm learning that it's better to go early in the morning. So hopefully on my off days, instead of waiting later, I'm going to get up earlier to go. Maybe I might catch something. Excuse me. But, guys, while we're here, if you are here from the Orange and Blue Network, go ahead over to MHRT, like their videos, subscribe to their channel, follow them on Facebook and Twitch, and share those videos with your friends and family. And if you're here from MHRT, go ahead over to Orange and Blue Network and share and like our channel, subscribe to our channel, and follow us on Twitter and Facebook and everywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts. All right, guys. And also a shout out to a sponsor of our show, Dubby Absolute Dub. Dubby was formulated to give you focus and energy with no jitters or crash. Their formula contains vitamins, amino acids, and nootropics, including the patented neurofactor. Within Dubby, there are no calories, no sugar, no maltodextrin, no fillers, and no artificial flavors. And speaking of artificial colors, speaking of flavor, they have all different types of flavors for you guys. And when you're over there, go ahead and type it NRWOB10 for 10% off. That is NRWOB10 for 10% off. All right, guys. So last year, surprisingly so, we finished with the number 10 scoring offense. I think we ended up finishing with averaging like 26 points per game under Sean Payton. Now, a lot of people will say that last Chiefs game definitely skewed a lot of numbers. I personally don't care. That's fine with me. But the number 10 scoring offense, and we lost by only one possession every game except for against the Buffalo Bills and against the Baltimore Ravens. Every other game that we lost by one possession. So we were just right there. We also saw Bo Nix in this offense go toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes. We saw Bo Nix in this offense go toe-to-toe with Justin Herbert twice. We've seen Bo Nix in this offense go toe-to-toe with Joe Burrow and take him to overtime. I had the chance to win it, but because Sean Payton didn't want to go for two, we went to overtime. But had we gone for two, Bo Nix would have gone toe-to-toe with Joe Burrow and beat him in their home in a walk-off touchdown, game-winning drive. So we've seen Bo Nix and Sean Payton step up and do this with no run game, Cortland Sutton, and no tight end play. No productive tight end play. And so we've seen them go toe-to-toe with these guys in addition to putting up points. And I think a lot of teams, when they're ranking the Broncos, when they're looking at Bo Nix, and they're looking at the offense, they're actually not looking at – they're looking at two things. Looking at Sean Payton, Bo Nix, and then looking at peripheral, surface level things. But what they're not looking at is the numbers that Bo Nix and Sean Payton put up without what they have now. And so a lot of people are saying, oh, they were caught off guard. Sure, but they also couldn't stop it. We got the wild card spot, number 7 in the AFC, with no run game and no tight end play. We didn't catch them off guard. They just didn't know how to stop it. Sean Payton was able to scheme up things. Bo Nix was able to execute it. Offensive line was elite to the point where we could actually go through the season strictly on passing. Now, as we get to the playoffs, we play the better teams like the Ravens, the Eagles, and the Bills. You need a run game. But for people to say, all these different rankings on quarterbacks and things like that, and this offense and what they're predicting, I hear a lot of people are saying Bo Nix may have the same numbers as last year, but he'll be a better quarterback, more efficient, less turnovers. But because of a run game and stuff like that, things may change. I've heard that possibility. I disagree with that because Sean Payton he likes to pass to set up the run. And if Sean Payton gets to going and he gets the juices flowing, he's going to want to throw the ball. I mean, Drew Brees had Alvin Kamara, and Drew Brees also put up 5,000 yards, 4,500 plus yards every year. So I think with the addition of more weapons, I think with the year 2 wide receivers coming in, you're going to have more production. You're going to have better time on third downs. You're going to stay on the field longer, and you're going to have more success in between the 20. Because Bo Nix was a top 3 quarterback in the NFL in the red zone. Bo Nix was elite in the red zone. For example, that's why Bo Nix has he has the record for the most home touchdowns by a rookie in NFL history. Bo Nix was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL in the red zone. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL at getting sacked. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL at turnover-worthy plays. So in the positions where you need the quarterback to take care of the ball and make something happen, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL at that. And so now the question is third down, staying on the field, and that's what happens with the lack of run game, a lack of tight end play. So all you're really doing is playing receivers. The defense is just trying to rush the quarterback and play the receivers. So you add in J.K. Dobbins, you add in R.J. Harvey, you bring in Evan Ingram, and just those three guys are everything we didn't have last year. So my question is, if you're looking at Sean Payton and Sean Payton's past and Sean Payton's history, what up, Jay? Yeah, baby. If you're looking at Sean Payton's past, you look at Sean Payton's history, you're looking at the production regarding the offense. I don't know why you would look at Bo Nix stats his rookie year, and I saw some today. Bo Nix had an unbelievable rookie year, an even better rookie year than some of us even think he had. And if you're looking at that, and you're looking at Sean Payton, and then you look at all the Drew Brees stats that he had year after year, I don't understand, what do you think is going to happen for Bo Nix's numbers to stay the same or decrease? Because Sean Payton's not a run the ball guy. And so you add a tight end who's going to give you more yards and more touchdowns, and you add running backs who can catch, who's going to give you more yards and more touchdowns. Am I missing something? How do you get more weapons, but your numbers stay the same? I mean, granted, I do believe, I will say this, I'm also not remembering how bad our running back room was last year. So what do we have? 500 total rushing yards across all running backs? No, Javonte Williams had 500. Close to 800 rushing yards total for the whole room. I think one running back can get that themselves. Even then, let's say J.K. Dobbins took up that 800 yards. Let's say J.K. Dobbins subsumed the whole the whole production of last year's running back room in of himself. And that leaves RJ Harvey, who can definitely get more rushing yards, but that also doesn't include the passing yards. Now, remember also with last year, Javonte Williams was second on the team in receptions, and I think he was fifth or sixth in the NFL with receptions for a running back. That's Sean Payton's offense. That's not going to change, and that's a pass. So we're right back. All good. That was crazy. Y'all heard that. But with a running back with fifth or sixth receptions as a running back in the NFL, and you replace that running back with RJ Harvey, that's got to be even a higher level production. And Bo Nix was actually, I think, one of the best check down quarterbacks in the NFL. But his average yards, you didn't hear that noise in the house? That was a loud door slam. I don't even know what that was. But you had Bo Nix is one of the best check down quarterbacks in the NFL, and the average check down was 7 yards. So now you replace Javonte with, remember I said earlier, if JK took Javonte's job, but this time you say, let's say RJ Harvey takes that reception of Javonte's job. That's more yards. So if we're finishing number 10 in scoring offense last year with no running back, with no tight end, and a rookie quarterback, and you're telling me the rookie quarterback's on his second year, we've got better running backs, we've got a better tight end, and the whole offense is coming back minus one running back, I don't know how we don't finish. I don't know how we don't make the next jump. I don't know how we don't become top 5. If I had to guess top 5 offenses next year, this isn't the particular order. These are 5. This is with the Broncos being 5, so I'm gonna get 4 other teams within no particular order. I'm gonna have to go Bengals because the Bengals, Ravens. I'm gonna go to Ravens. So I have to go Bengals, Ravens, Rams, Bucks, and the 15 would be the Broncos. So basically, if the Broncos are going to be a top 5 offense next year, that means they're going to be, according to me, they're going to be in the category with the Bengals with Burrow, Chase, and Higgins, the Ravens with Lamar Jackson, DeAndre Hopkins, and Derrick Henry, the Rams with Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, Terrence Ferguson. They have a good defense. The Bucks, who had a good offense last year and just added Emeka Egbuka. And then I got the Broncos. So what is that? What team is outside that the Broncos are going to surpass? So that means that I think the Broncos offense is better than the Chiefs this year. I think they're going to be better than the Chargers. I think they're going to be better than the Texans. Potentially. Texans is a close one. And yes, Jay, Washington. I think Cliff Kingsbury offense in the second year with which film is going to be on tape, because here's the thing with Washington. Difference between them and Bo is that Sean Payton's whole playbook can be open because we didn't have the pieces. That wasn't the case for Washington. They had the pieces, so we were able to see, and the pieces took them to the NFC Championship. I don't think that's going to be the same this year. So there's one more team that I'm forgetting. So we are in front of the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Texans, the Commanders. Let me think. No. Steelers? No. We'll be ahead. The Steelers were there last year, so we'll be ahead of the Steelers. Dolphins, I think we'll be ahead of the Dolphins. Yeah. So I think the Broncos I think our offense would have to be in the elite. So all these guys, so the Bengals didn't make the playoffs last year, but we know the Bengals offense. The Ravens did, the Rams did. I think the Rams are a dark horse Super Bowl team for the NFC. Listen to some folks, and I like what they were saying about it being hard for the Eagles to repeat. Not to mention their division just got a lot tougher too. So Dallas just got George Pickens. So now Dak Prescott has a really, really, really probably has the best wide receiver duo, in my opinion, in the NFL. I think the Cowboys have the best wide receiver duo in the NFL. I think George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb is an excellent wide receiver duo. I'm just going to have to see what Dallas's defense looks like in their new offense with Schottenheimer. But that's not going to be an easy game for the Eagles. And then you have the Commanders, who did go. I think they'll take a step back this year. Who did go to the NFC Championship? So there's that. And then you have the Giants, who the Giants are expected to have a really, really good defense. You have the Lions, who are recovering from injury. You got the Packers up there, the Vikings with J.J. McCarthy. You got the Bucks in the NFC South. But if I'm looking at the NFC, I can see the Rams and the Eagles or the Rams and Lions in the NFC Championship. And I can see the Rams being a dark horse because they have a good young defense and they have a good offense. I really, really do think the Rams could go to the Super Bowl this year. But that will put our offense up there with them. With the Bucks, we know Baker Mayfield puts up numbers every year. He turned out to be a really good quarterback. They just got him more weapons. The pick 19 surprised me because they'd been mocked to go defense, and I knew if Ibuka was there at 20, we were probably going to take him. And then the Bucks took him, which we got Jade, which ended up working fine. But now their offense is on to another level. So Mike Evans is coming back probably for one of his last 1 or 2 years. He's got a Super Bowl ring. He's a Hall of Famer. You got Chris Godwin, who's come back from his injury. You have Jalen McMillan, and then you have Emeka Ibuka. So they probably have arguably the best wide receiver room. I think the Cowboys had the best wide receiver duo. I think the Bucks, I say the Bucks had the best wide receiver room. I was going to say you can make an argument for the Texans, but their wide receiver depth are just rookies. So I think they'd have the best wide receiver room. And then you'd have the Ravens with them and Derrick Henry with the addition of DeAndre Hopkins. And I said you have the Broncos. Whereas other than the Eagles, that's who I'd say we have a better offense. The other one would be the Eagles. Yeah, that would be tough. Man. Yeah, so kicking out the Eagles in the top 10, replacing them for the Broncos. That's a hot take, isn't it? But they replaced their right guard. Can Saquon stay healthy like he did all last season? And things like that. So that's gonna be very interesting. But yeah, with our top 10 scoring offense last year, and this year with the additions of these guys and Sean Payton, I think if you take away this first 4 weeks, if you don't have that slump the first 4 weeks, and you're putting up 25 points a game, 25, 26 points a game, you're going to finish top 10. Barkley is the best running back in the game, yes, but can he stay healthy for the Eagles again? And can they? Last year they replaced Jason Kelsey with Cam Jurgens. He just retired a year too early. They got the ring. This year they replaced Mekhi Becton. So can the right guard step up and fit and fall with that Eagles offensive line? Their defensive depth has worn thin, and they lost some players up front. So will their front be as good? And their back end, they lost Darius Slade, CJ Gardner-Johnson. They lost some good pieces in the secondary. Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell will be there, but they're the starters now, so they're not depth. So is their depth thin? Some of their starters are gone. Milton Williams, Josh Sweat. So there's some things to look at that. I think that Eagles game is going to be very interesting. All right, guys. Now that we did that, we are going to take a quick break, and then we are going to discuss what everyone has been discussing, which is the strength of this team, the potential, and my worry before we transition into this is that Vance Joseph and this defense have such high expectations that maybe it's not up to snuff. Because, I mean, if you look everywhere, they are predicting the Broncos to have the number one defense. Everywhere. Broncos number one defense. Broncos number one defense. Broncos number one defense. And that's deserved, especially after how we finished last season. But it makes me a little anxious. Definitely makes me a little anxious with that there. All right, guys, we're gonna take this with us being number one everywhere. We're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna get back to the second half of the show. And so for the first time in a long time, Broncos Country has almost a unanimous opinion, an excellent opinion about them, which is our defense overperformed last year. Everyone's coming back, and we added pieces, including free agency and the draft, and number one defense. Everyone. So do those expectations kind of make y'all nervous? I know toward the end of last year, the last month, I know we were missing Riley Moss, but our defense was dead last. And I think that was with the pass coverage. We gave up so many passing yards. And we just saw how important Riley Moss was to the team. So with the addition of Jahdae Barron, Dre Greenlaw, who was out there but wasn't with the team, Tyler Hufanga was out there. What? Can we actually be the number one defense? We were top 5, and so now can we make that next step the next year? Will Vance Joseph have a head coaching job at the end of the season? And so one of the things we're going to do on the show is we're going to go down each week, and we're going to break down positions. So quarterback, receiver, and we're going to compare them to each team. Which matchup do we win? So that's going to be very interesting. That's where we're going to be able to go in depth and really see how good we can be. But last year, we had the most sacks in the NFL. We set a franchise record of sacks, beating out Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware 2015 Broncos with 63. So the franchise record led the league in sacks. The entire defensive line is coming back. And this will be Nick Bonitto's first year starting. So last year, Baron Browning started, and he finished with 13.5 sacks. Can Nick Bonitto get 17 sacks starting? I think he can. I actually think he can. And that's why I'm kind of okay with paying him. What was it that I got it right here, guys. What did he say we're going to pay Nick Bonitto? Bonitto was going to be, what was it, $20 million a year? So was it 4 years, $100 million? No, that's Zach Allen. It was 4 years, $84 million. Yep, 4 years, $84 million. I have no problem paying him that, because if he gets 17 sacks his first year starting, the price is going to go way up. Maybe we don't have a problem paying for that if he puts up 17 sacks, which I don't think we're going to have a problem. like Cincinnati did with Trey Hendrickson. But then you have, not only did they break the franchise record in sacks, lead the NFL in sacks, but Nick Bonito and Jonathan Cooper were the number one edge duo in the NFL. Now, I know they try to give it to the boys down in Houston, Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter, but no. Belongs to Broncos Country. We got the belt. So, not just the edges. We're acting last year. Then we go into the interior. And so we have Jonathan Franklin Myers and Zach Allen. And Zach Allen's up for a contract. We said 4 years, $100 million, $80 million guaranteed, $25 million a year. Zach Allen, in my opinion, was the best defensive tackle in the NFL last year. QB hits, pressures. He had 8.5 sacks last year. That's something people really don't talk about. Zach Allen almost had 8. He led the NFL in quarterback hits, and he almost had double-digit sacks. People don't understand how dominant, and he played almost 1,000 snaps. People don't understand how dominant he is. Very well-rounded defensive tackle, defensive end. Very well-rounded. Then you go to Jonathan Franklin Myers. Jonathan Franklin Myers led defensive tackles in pressures, and he's a good run stopper. I predicted if we give him a contract, give him 2 years, $20 million, $15 million guaranteed, $10 million a year, $5 million this year, and then put $15 million guaranteed next year, or $10 million guaranteed next year. And so we have the defensive line, and then you go into the center, which we re-signed this year for 3 years. What was it? 3 years, $30 million, I think it was, or 3 years, 30-something million. DJ Jones. Stout, good, athletic, quick off the ball, attacking, defensive, nose tackle. All came back. All came back in the system again, all playing again. Then you got Malcolm Roach in the back. Then you got Savion Jones in the back. You got Jordan Jackson in the back. Eni Wazarike in the back. And then on the edges, you got Dondre Tillman, 5.5 sacks. Jonah Ellis, 5.5 sacks. Q Robinson, who's been tearing it up. Defensive line is good. The depth that the Philadelphia, because they lost Milton Williams and Josh Sweat, their starters. So now Nolan Smith had to step up and another guy had to step up. But now their depth is thinned out in the front and in the secondary. So then we go to the next one. This I believe this next one is going to determine whether we are the number one defense in the NFL or not. And that's going to be our linebacker core, our inside linebacker core. Both of our starting linebackers are coming off injury. One of them got injured in the offseason. That is a big question mark. Love the thumbs up, guys. Rob, salute, brother. That's the big question mark. Is this inside linebacker core? Alex Singleton, 31, coming off ACL, said he probably won't play training camp. Linebacker is a physical position. Now, that's not how, Sean Payton's training camps are still very physical, and that's where they're going to practice. And then we'll have joint practices, so there will be that. And then you get Dre Greenlaw, who's healed from the Achilles, but then who has a quad injury. Now, I think all this time off is going to be healthy. He's going to be back. He's going to be out there, but those are the question marks. Alex Singleton and Dre Greenlaw are two very different linebackers. I don't know how well they'll play off each other, and I don't know how well they'll play together. And I think the most important depth on our defensive side of the ball is not secondary or defensive line, but I think it's inside linebacker. And I'm okay with our inside linebacker depth. I'm okay. We have Sternad, who played and is told he's going to compete against Alex Singleton for the starting spot. I'm okay with that. Drew Sanders, we don't know what he can do. Let's throw him out there, see what happens. I'm okay with that. And then finally, here's a guy whose name popped up last year and whose name popped up again this year, who I have out of all the sleeper candidates I have this year, I don't have any on offense, but I have two on defense. We've talked about one, Chris Havens-Drake. Lavelle Bailey's the other one. I think Lavelle Bailey is a sleeper starting inside linebacker for the Broncos. Actually, let me rephrase that. I think I see the Broncos' vision. There's a few inside linebackers who are under their rookie contracts for the next few years. Lavelle Bailey, and then a couple of the guys they that were undrafted free agents that were really good this coming out of college. That were undrafted free agents. We got a couple of them that are supposed to be really good. And what I could see happening is Dre Greenlaw becomes the guy. And let's say after this year, Alex Singleton and Justin Sternard go. So now you got Dre Greenlaw, Drew Sanders, Lavelle Bailey, and the other guys they drafted. And I could see year 3, Lavelle Bailey, because from what I hear, he had another interception. So he's pretty good in pass coverage. I want to see his run defense. I could see Lavelle Bailey absolutely making a statement in training camp and preseason again and really climbing up that depth chart. I can really see him climbing up that depth chart. So I think that inside linebacker core depth is going to be the most important to watch out for. And so going into the secondary, we're going to close out the show with the secondary. There was a tweet yesterday. There's 2 teams with a competing secondary with the Broncos. And I think out of these 3 teams, the Broncos secondary is going to be second. They were 1. I think now they're second. Ravens and the Broncos. I think the Broncos had a better secondary, but I think with the addition of Jair Alexander, their secondary became better. It's Pat Surtain over whoever their number 1 cornerback is. And then it's Riley Moss versus, I think their number 1 cornerback is Jair now. So it'd be Pat Surtain or Jair. I'd choose Pat. Then it's Riley Moss versus Nate Wiggins. Right now, Nate Wiggins, he stayed healthy. Jahdae Barron versus Marlon Humphrey. I think Jahdae Barron's going to be better, but I think Marlon Humphrey's still better right now and has experience. Kyle Hamilton or Talanoa. Kyle Hamilton right now. And then Brandon Jones over Starks. He's a rookie. Until we got Jair Alexander, I think we have the best secondary. Now, we don't have to see the Ravens in the Super Bowl. In the regular season, but we'll probably have to see them in the playoffs. Excuse me. The Texans. I don't know the name of all their secondary, but I know they have in my opinion, the second best cornerback in the NFL. And that's Derek Stingley. I know they have a really good defense just as well as the Broncos. They're right there in stats and everything. So I have to go Ravens, Broncos, Texans as in best secondary. But there's not going to be other teams that beat us out there. So I think our pass rush is better than the Ravens, which makes our defense better than theirs. I think our run defense is better than theirs. I think our secondary is better than the Texans, which makes our defense better than theirs. And I think our pass rush is a little bit better than theirs as well. So with that being said, will we be disappointed if we're not number 1? I think when it comes to looking at all levels, no. I think if we're top 5, we're okay. If let's say, if that linebacker or whatever the case may be, but out of top 3, top 5, yes, we're disappointed. I think if we're in the top 5, top 3, 2 years in a row, I think Vance Joseph gets a head coaching job, and Jim Leonard will be the head coach of the defensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos next year. Guys, that is going to wrap up today's show of Orange and Blue Blitz. We went and broke down the Broncos offense, last year's offense, top 10. How can we be top 5 this year, and can we do it? What teams will be better than? And we broke down defense. And so once again, like I said, we're going to be breaking down each week's position battle, seeing who has the upper hand and who should win that game. And that, I believe, that should reflect that 13-4 record that we predicted over here at the Orange and Blue Network. So you guys aren't going to want to miss that. And that's why you guys have to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. I see that thumbs up, guys. We appreciate the shout out. We appreciate the super chats you guys just been sending in. We've been elated about that, and we love you guys. Subscribe to our YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and anywhere you listen to your favorites. And go ahead over to MHRT, who we are in partnership as well, and follow them on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch. Guys, don't forget, we have our shows. What day is today? Today's Wednesday. Don't forget, we have Broncos Talk tonight at 6 p.m. And Friday, we also have Viva's Los Broncos at 6 p.m. And then when the season starts, we're going to have our Get Buck Game Day show and our Buck Your Feelings post-game show, which will start with the preseason. So you're not going to want to miss that, guys. So you guys have to hit that notification bell so that way you do not miss a thing. Guys, I will once again be seeing you guys Friday. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a mile high salute. And I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your
we confide.